So now this is where we are in today's women.
The women of yesteryear.
Whether we got there through adaptation, whether we got there through evolution, the women of today and the women of 30 and 40 years ago are different women. Biologically.
And you don't
Not
think
biological.
That's evolution is biological.
Now?
I feel like it was a conscious decision.
It's still.
Why do women become attached after they have sex?
No. Here's the
Every woman don't become attached after they have sex.
Why do women release oxytocin in their brain when they have sex with a man? It's because our biology is different. You know when men release that hormone? When they bond with their children. Not when they have sex with a woman. Not when they spend years with a woman. Not when they walk down the aisle. Women do.
I want you
Why? It's because our brains are different.
But also, in addition to this, men's lives have not generally changed. For women, decade upon decade, year by year by year, things have evolved for us in a way that you guys have not had to experience.
That's not true.
No, you are wrong.
You're saying that to black men.
No, she's wrong, period.
That's not true.
Mel is wrong. I want us to understand that in these conversations, we have to be open to everybody's experience. The same way we are just saying that women have been forced, I'm agreeing with you. Society has forced women to evolve and adapt through a bunch of different circumstances that have taken place. Whether single parent households, whether a higher cost of living, all of these things have forced women to adapt and evolve. Yes. We are all agreeing with that. Y'all have to now open your minds up to see that society has done the same thing for men. Y'all call niggas the new bitches.
Yeah.
That's an evolution and an adaptation, Mel.
It's like a role reversal.
Stop. You said men haven't had to adapt or evolve.
No. I was about to. No.
Go ahead.
Now hold on one second here. You got to chill out for a second because I was about to ask you a question. Okay, I'm not about to stomp all over. Hold on, I'm not about to stomp all over what you're saying. I'm about to ask you a question about what you just said about men being the new bitches. What process in evolution is that for y'all?
And this is what.
Not y'all. Sorry, the men.
I don't know what.
Why was that? Was it a conscious choice to become betas? Or to become less manly, or whatever the case is. What is
there's actually
what is that response from?
Discount is back on the table.
What is that? What is that a response? What's that a response to?
I have a point,
I'm asking,
and Mel
what is that a response to?
I'm not allowing you to do that to me today. What I'm telling you is that through the course of history, men and women have both evolved. We are all 6-7 men in here that have agreed with you that evolution and adaptation have taken place. I want you to agree with us that has been the same for men, not what caused it, because again, it could be a bunch of things that could have caused it. That's not the relevant piece here. The relevant piece here that a change has occurred in men and women.
Your focus.
Yeah, that's true.
When you give your example, you gave a negative.
I gave one that all of us can agree with.
1 second.
You gave a negative, quote unquote, example of women adapting to certain circumstances about ever-changing society. Hold on one second. Just hold on one second.
No, because you lying. I didn't do that.
Well, what was negative?
What was the negative example? Stop, Joe. What was the negative example that I gave?
Single family, single woman households having to raise kids. That's all I'm saying.
I said the higher cost of standard of living in the country.
Yes, okay.
That's not negative, Mel.
Okay.
Inflation is a real thing.
No, I'm not saying that. That's not where I'm going with this.
You're weaponizing the woman shit.
I'm not.
How is she weaponizing?
Because she said he gave a negative example of female adaptation.
I want to. Okay, all right. So then let me give the alternative to what it is that you are giving an example of. The alternative is when it comes to women who you say are disregarding and discounting the choice to have families and children. These are women who are now in the first time in history able to, in their professional lives, be on par and on level with their male counterparts. Be the CEOs and the heads of and titans of industries and CEOs and Fortune 500 companies. This is important. This is the first time in history in which this was an opportunity given to women. And there's some women that feel like this is the choice that I would like to make, where society has always dictated a woman's worth is directly correlated to her creating progeny, this is where women say, nope, I am not that woman. I'm making my own personal individual choice to pursue my career goals because that is the human being that I am, and I'm not going to kowtow to society's patriarchal standards of what is my worth in this life. Again, I feel like
that had nothing to do with our conversation.
It actually did. It really did.
No, the conversation was, Ashanti said that women have a biological want to nurture and caretake, and I said that women of today have evolved and adapted, a lot of them, beyond that, and that's the only reason I brought up the career versus family thing. That's the only reason I brought that up, to address her point, which is a conscious and deliberate choice, like you just said, to forego the family life for the career life.
I will say it's a conscious choice, but I will say it's also not an easy choice for a lot of women. It's also not an easy choice for a lot of women.
I agree with you.
To have to be independent and to have to, strive. I mean, like, it's not, I don't mean it in a sense of like women are like, oh my God, I have to go out in the field and make money. But I will say, if you gave a lot of women the choice of family and children and the quote unquote soft life versus the grind culture, a lot of women would choose to be mothers. A lot of women would choose to be wives.
And there's a lot that'll choose today that'll choose the other side, though.
The dynamic between Joe Budden and Melyssa Ford on the Joe Budden podcast has always been interesting and layered. Melyssa, a former model and actress, joined the podcast in its earlier days as a co-host, bringing a distinct voice and perspective to the show. Her chemistry with Joe Budden has often been the subject of conversation, with the two having moments of camaraderie, light-hearted teasing, and occasional tension. Joe, known for his outspoken and sometimes confrontational style, often plays the role of the provocateur, challenging his co-hosts and guests with bold opinions or questioning their perspectives. Melyssa, on the other hand, provides a more balanced, sometimes diplomatic perspective, though she's not afraid to speak her mind or call Joe out when she feels it's necessary. Their interactions on the podcast reflect a level of mutual respect, but also an underlying tension, especially as they navigate the contrasting personalities they bring to the table. Joe tends to push buttons, while Melyssa often counters with measured responses or sharp retorts. It's clear that despite their differences, both value the chemistry they share, and Melyssa's insights often help ground the podcast's more chaotic moments. Listeners have often seen Melyssa take on the role of a mediator when things get heated, especially in discussions that can become somewhat personal or emotional. Whether it's about relationships, career choices, or navigating the complexities of the entertainment industry, this back-and-forth dynamic between the two creates a balanced, engaging conversation that keeps listeners hooked, as they never quite know whether the next moment will bring a thoughtful insight or a playful back-and-forth. At times, the tensions between Joe and Melyssa have sparked debates on social media and within podcast fan circles. Their differing opinions often offer listeners a deeper look into the real-world dynamics of relationships, business, and personal boundaries. Ultimately, it's this dynamic that has helped shape the podcast into a staple in the world of hip-hop and pop culture commentary.